when you were in Mexico, did you run into lots of people who were dating like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember when we first started going there, I went to a public school, and my younger sister, who's 4 years younger than me, she was in middle school and I was in high school. And some of her young friends had boyfriends that were in my high school. And it was really weird, and, I don't know.
Well, what did your parents think about this? And what did his parents think about this?
My parents were very upset. I was very rebellious, and I really went against my conscience many times. His parents were only in it for selfish reasons. My mother-in-law was not. My mother-in-law told Diego, if you want to go and marry Abby, you need to go speak to her parents, and you need to do it the right way. And my father-in-law was just kind of either just do and get it over with, or don't do it and keep working for me. Basically just for selfish reasons, he didn't want Diego to get married. And he's an older man, so he has his vision already of the States, of how they hate Mexicans and they don't want him in and they're blocking him out, so...
But he's not interested in talking about how Mexico blocks thousands of other people from coming across their border.
Exactly. No, he's very ignorant. He's very ignorant, and it's not all his fault. If you watch, actually, when I was in Mexico the last time, it was about this presidential debate. I never saw one Republican commercial there at all. It was pure Obama and Hillary, which just goes to show you that's what their government wants them to see.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I never saw one. I didn't even know who the Republican candidate was. I had to call my parents. I had no idea.
You were 16 and he was, what'd you say, 23?
Yeah, 24.
24. I mean, that would be amazing to most families in our country. They just say, that guy's a pervert.
Exactly.
But what about that? Why does this happen like this? Because, it's so normal in Mexico for older guys to have very much younger girlfriends and wives.
I don't know why it is, really. I can't really think of why it is. And there's sometimes that I go, his friends will say, they'll be in their 20s and they'll be like, well, my girlfriend was 15 and they're over their 20s, and I'm like, what? Which of course when yourself is in that position, you don't see it the same. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, well, I'm mature, or I'm tall, or you know what I mean, or he's immature.
Well, what do you think looking back? Because I'm not criticizing it. In fact, in many societies, there's nothing unusual about this. And years ago, people got married very young. It wasn't considered so young. Well, what do you think now?
I recommend not marrying so young. I think I think me and Diego could have stuck it out a year more until I was totally out of high school, and maybe started my college. I'm very thankful that I had good parents who set a good marriage in front of me, or I would have really been lost. Now, we do have our problems when we do fight, but I know that you have to put your spouse first, and I learned little things like that really help a marriage, go a long way. And I was able to go through a lot of counseling in Mexico about child raising before I even knew I was pregnant. So it just kind of worked out. It worked itself out. And I'm lucky that I didn't marry an abusive man. In Mexico, it's sometimes can be normal that a man will slap his wife, and she, treat her like she should be serving him at all the time. I'm very lucky that I have a very good husband, very respectful of me, and very respectful of our daughter and of my family.
Do you miss this guy, Diego?
just a little bit.
Diego means Jim. So does Jaime. They're really both the same name. Now, I got to ask you, Abby, what do your do you live around your old friends now?
No, I don't. My friends are in Oklahoma.
Okay. What would those? I think we have some Oklahoman schools signing up. What would those kids say, your friends, I say kids, but your friends, what would your friends say if they knew about this, or maybe they do? I guess you've already talked, through the web, on phones and everything, texting? And
when I first came back to the States when I was pregnant, it was my sister's wedding, and my parents drove from here in Indianapolis to Oklahoma, where my sister's living now and was married. So when I came up, I obviously saw my my old friends, and I was already pregnant, and I already had my little baby bump going. So I think it was a shock to them, but I remember my three best friends and I, all four of us, we went to out to eat one night and went to the mall, and I think they just kind of, I don't know how they took it. I know they asked me questions, why, and are you okay? Do you like it?
Did they think you were married to a real old man?
No, they didn't. They really didn't. I remember them, maybe they did. They didn't say it to my face. They probably did. They just didn't say it to me.
Now, when Diego finally gets here, Abby, do you think that we could do an interview and follow up on this? And also, what do you think he would have to say?
I think he would just say that he did whatever he felt like he had to do to be with his family, and if that meant $2,000 and 4 or 5 nights without eating, then that's what it was. Or
meaning while he was sneaking across the border.
Exactly. Or if that means working there and just watching his daughter on YouTube so that he could have a better life for her and we could have a better life here, then he would say, I would do it again. I'll do it 1,000 times more. So
you're saying you put Kiona's videos, you take videos of her and then you put them on the YouTube, and then he watches his daughter.
Yeah, exactly. He was able to see her walk, shakes her little booty, and just dances there. So he was, just little cute things that if we were sitting in our living room together, married, watching her, we would just be laughing at her.
When he was trying to get into this country, was his intention to stay or what?
At this point, yeah, it's our intention to stay here.
No, but when he was trying to get in originally, was he trying to sneak across in hopes of not returning to Mexico?
Yeah, exactly. For us to live here and for us to be able to work.
So then he would rely on his parents to be able to come here to visit.
Basically, his relationship between him and his family, him and his mom are very close. His dad has hurt him in a lot of ways that I may not go into, but so I think at this point and at that point, he's ready to be free.
Well, is there anything you want to say to anybody who's thinking about falling in love with someone who is already in the country and illegal?
Just try to get them legal first. I don't really know how to do it. I don't really know if they send them back to Mexico and they do it that way. And I've heard of people being punished basically by the American government and saying you are not able to pass for 2 years. We will not even look at your papers for 2 more years. So, and I've also heard of people that are already here in the States and they just send papers in and they ended up giving their green card and they're able to be here legally now and get legal jobs.
I think it's 2 years right now.
Right.
They have to go back for 2 years, apply to come back in.
Right.
Which is separation from family.
Yeah, which isn't right. I mean, I feel like we suffer.
Well, what would you want to change about the... Do you think there's something wrong with the immigration rules?
I think it's too many extremes. It's either everybody passes. 10 years ago it was.
Oh yeah, they just walk in.
Yeah, right. A lot of times they just had notes from the employers, that handwritten, that just said, Jose works for me on 2752 South Avenue, whatever. And so that was too much of an extreme. I don't feel like all of those people, should pass or be able to. A lot of them are criminals. A lot of them. But then after the stupidity of what they've done, now we're suffering the other extreme of nobody coming across. And we are, really in love and really married and really have a family and we really deserve to be together. So I think that they should find a happy medium and really investigate, each family.
I talk to people who I feel don't really know immigration very well, or they're not willing to be honest about how complex it is. Do you think America's messed up, or is this a situation that you're willing to say, could it have been done in a way that would have been a lot less complicated for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been done at that time in 8 months to a year. Obviously, we were kind of more desperate to be together and have our child. At this point, the same legal clinic that I went to 9 months ago, they told me it would be 8 months to a year. Because how it used to be done is you send in this form with the payment, and then the government takes 6 weeks to approve it. And that's maybe, how many forms. It's just forms and forms. So you're waiting 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks. And now what they do is they just make a little book. They put, this is her petition for her husband, this is the petition for work, this is the petition for residency, and they do it on a little book. You pay one time, you send it in, and that takes 3 months. And after 3 months, they say, okay, we obviously see that they're really married, they have support. Diego's not going to come here and get on welfare immediately or use the government, that he has, his own 2 feet. He's not bringing any sicknesses here, AIDS or, whatever, smallpox. And once they see that, say, you know what, okay, it's fine. Tell him he can come. Here's the pass. There's, I don't know exactly how they do it. I don't know if they send emails or...
Now, you say he won't be getting on welfare immediately. Did you mean to say it like that?
Yeah, well, that's what the government wants to see, that he will be able to be supported without the help of the government.
Without welfare?
Yeah, exactly, without health care and things like that.
Do you have a plan in place? Are you guys putting a plan together so that he'll be able to come and work?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have, for 8 people, you have to meet $44,000 a year. And if your actual family does not make $44,000 a year, then you can have like a co-signer, and whoever, if I make 37 and you make the rest, you can sign saying, for any reason, if anything were to happen, I would be able to support Diego. Obviously, in my case, Diego's young and he'll come and work immediately. So you're basically just showing the government that if he's not going to be using their money, that he's going to be,
He's not getting a free ride.
Yeah, exactly. He's coming here to work, and he's trying to do his part, and he wants to be an upholding citizen and, just a husband and a dad.
And what kind of work will he do?
He knows everything about growing plants, what to feed animals, cows.
Oh.
I mean, he's very intelligent. He's a hard worker.
Thanks for doing this with us. This will probably be it'll easily turn into a couple of lessons. Anything you want to say before we take off?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay. Well, it'll be great to interview you with Diego and Kiona together in another several months, maybe?
Maybe 5 months.
Okay. Muchas gracias.
De nada.